Did you know that Donald Trump's approval rating is down a whopping 27% just in the last few months in this important age group of 18 to 29-year-olds? Down 27%. He's down 11%, 30 to 44-year-olds, and he's down 6%, 45 to 60 years old. So 27, 11, and 6. These are not small numbers, and this is reported by CBS through YouGov. I will mention one more time that if you go to yougov.com, I think it is, you can do, what do they call these, polls, and they'll pay you. So if you're looking for some extra cash, please look online for ways that you can do this type of thing, give polls or be in a group of some kind, because you can make some extra cash this way. And no, they're not paying you for what, they're not paying you to say the right thing, that you basically just do a bunch of polls. And after you've done so many, you can make a couple of dollars. It's not a lot of money, but it's a little something, right? But my point is that we like to say, right, first off, they're publishing this poll. In the past, they buried everything that's been negative about DJT, but now these things are coming to the surface. That's because he's just not popular. And everything he's doing has finally broke through the brains of these people that weren't paying attention. In this case, are 18 to 29. These are not people who look at the news. And yet somehow they know enough about what's going on that they don't like it. I would say these kids are the ones that are at the colleges that are being rated, being told what to teach, what not to teach, where their fellow classmates are having their visas revoked. There's probably the same folks that are working and seeing the roundup of people that are working with them. They are on the front lines, the guides are saying. This age group is on the front lines. They're seeing the truth of what is happening, and they don't like it. And then we have 45, DJT. He's in Scotland, where, as if you don't know, he's been getting a drubbing. He's been drowned out by bagpipes when he tries to talk. People are lining the streets calling him a pedo. He's just getting trashed over there. And then just recently a video showed up where one of the caddies walks by and drops a ball behind him, doesn't put it where it's supposed to go, just tries to covertly drop the ball in the better part of the grass instead of the rough. I mean, it's just all coming out about him. And as I go into this energy, we know, right, that JD is the golden chosen one. He is the one who's supposed to ascend according to Peter Thiel. This is their master plan. And what I think is interesting is that as I went into the energy, this is just yesterday, as I went into the energy, he's not going anywhere. DJT is wily. He is street smart. I believe, is a mobster. He's evaded. Look how many people have fallen out of windows. This guy has evaded so many really nasty situations because he's very street smart. He gets it. He gets how people operate. And frankly, he gets how criminals operate. And I can tell you that if you don't think like a criminal, you're never going to understand it. I've got first-hand experience, not because I'm a criminal, but because I had an employee when I had my old business as a photographer who stole a lot of money from me. And because I never thought like a criminal, I never thought in that way. And it was so interesting because she said, you better lock your mailbox. Why don't you have a locking mailbox? And I was like, this was, in 2010 or something, right? Like, I'm like, why do I need a locking mailbox? She was just so focused on security in all ways because she understood all the ways someone could rip you off. And this is DJT. He gets it. The rest of us are way behind the curve because we are not thinking like a criminal. And I think really and truly Vance is behind the curve because whereas he has some very bizarre ideas and concepts about people and about race and about class. He doesn't think like a mobster. He's woefully unprepared for that situation. So here they are trying to corral DJT, trying to get him off the stage, trying to get him out of the office. And DJT keeps maneuvering the same way he maneuvered around our court system. You know, he's slippery. So I would just say that as I'm looking at this energy, the thing that I think that's changed is that, and another thing, right? Like they want to talk about the thing that's changed is that his health is precarious. Anybody else would already be dead, right? I mean, my God, how does this guy keep doing the same things? You know, Clinton had a big heart scare, totally changed his diet, lost all that weight, gave up his love of fast food and that good country cooking, and he's alive because of that. DJT says, no thanks, I'm going to eat more. I think what's happening right now is, because I asked the spirit guides, I said, what is the breaking point? Like, what is the literal breaking point? Because we're feeling broken, right? And one of the things that has to happen is we have to get him out of office so then we can go to the next phase of this whole situation. The thing that was surprising to me that I found out yesterday was that they're now thinking that they're going to have to arrest him, that they're going to have to 25th Amendment him, or honestly arrest him. Again, if his only shield protection is his followers. And yes, these numbers are probably not MAGAs, but the MAGAs are also becoming more and more and more disgusted by him because they're just paying so much money at the grocery store. Gas is up, our utilities are up. And you know what? It's all going to get worse because the tariffs and the crazy things haven't even kicked in. So we know that a lot of the people that support him are these type of people that are really going to be hurt by his own policies. And he doesn't care. You know, an interesting thing about him is he doesn't care. You know, I saw a post this morning on social media, and it's true. He doesn't care about his ex-wife being buried in a golf course with weeds growing over it. He doesn't care. That's one thing. But the thing that's even more important is he doesn't care what people think of that. Because one thing that our society does is our societal ideals hold us in check. You know, it's frowned upon really to do a lot of things. So we don't do them. You know, maybe it's perfectly lawful to walk around your house screaming or walk around the yard screaming, but people generally don't like it. And in general, we don't want to be seen as crazy or as weird. So we all sort of try to follow, generally speaking, the societal ideals. Not him. He doesn't care. He doesn't care if you think he's a jerk for planting his ex-wife in a golf course. He doesn't care. So he doesn't care about people he loves or people that were his family. He doesn't care what you think of him, and he doesn't care what the laws are. So this is a person who's completely outside of any type of control. The only thing he cares about is money and making money. So if you're going to control him, it better be around money. And then secondarily, I would say he cares about going to prison. That's it. Those are the only two things he cares about. So if he doesn't have support of these MAGAs, he's vulnerable. He's way vulnerable. And I don't know if he's realized this. I going into his energy right now, I can tell you he doesn't care. Again, he doesn't care. He never gave them the amount of gratitude that he should have. He never appreciated them for what they brought him. You know, he sees them as idiots, as stupid people, and he doesn't think he needs them. He thinks he's ascended to the throne, and now the throne is his. Well, guess what? A lot of dictators thought the same thing, and now they are no longer walking the planet. So I would say to you that this is heating up. And whereas they thought, meaning maybe allegedly Vance and Teal thought that they could just kind of get him, they could kind of just move him off to the side one way or another. This is becoming less and less likely. They're realizing that he's going to put up a fight. Maybe he made a plan. Maybe he made a pact. Maybe he shook their hand. They really think they can trust that? Because he's reneging on it. He's saying, I'm not going anywhere. I got it. This is all mine. So where we are now, one of the breaking points is getting rid of him, moving past him. And how will they do it? Well, the energy suggests that if he doesn't go to the great hamburger, restaurant in the sky on his own or with some extra help or however that happens, I don't know. If he doesn't get out of the office, they're going to 25th him. And when you see things like this poll published in CBS, whom I might add, he sues all the media companies and they give him money. So they know that by speaking out, they're really going to have to pay for this. So why would they do it? Why would they put themselves out there if they're just going to have to pay a couple of $1 million? Even if to a company like CBS, that's, a couple of $1,000. It still means that they took a calculated risk to do this. And it means that the people that pull the strings, that have the money, okayed it. They said, yes, we're going to do this. This is mounting against him. The thing that I was surprised about was that he's probably going to be 25th out of there. And the 25th Amendment is he's no longer able to do the duties of president, and the vice president and the cabinet are the ones that make the plan to do that. They kind of spearhead the situation. They start the process. And you see his cabinet arguing right now. You see them infighting right now because there is an inner knowing. Maybe they're not talking about it out loud, but I'm pretty sure they all feel like, uh-oh, this person is against my boss. I need to protect my boss. So you see his cabinet fighting. If you see people leaving the cabinet, you got to wonder if who made them leave, right? Because DJT is going to try to keep the ones that are loyal to him because he needs them. I don't think he understands they just said he doesn't want to understand the machinations of the presidency. He doesn't believe he's the president. He truly believes he is. They just said the Godfather, okay, literally. That's what he believes. He believes he's the mob boss. So it's going to get really interesting. If you can look at this from an observer perspective, it's really going to get interesting because it could double back on JD and Teal. This thing could actually double back on them, which I would be happy about because I frankly would be happy if the whole thing went down. And this makes sense, right? Because but a lot of us in this community saw DJT going out, and then we saw Vance going out right behind him, like 1-2 gone, right? So that's the breaking point, in my opinion. We have to get to this point of the executive office, let's say, not just the presidency, but the executive office, the VP, then the president going down out of the way. Then the other thing that I would say is that the things that they've implemented are not going to be repealed immediately. This is still very much a power play that is happening. We still have until the midterms for us to get control of Congress. And at that point, I don't even know who's going to be in the presidency. I don't see DJT being in the presidency. I don't think he'll be on this side of the soil. And then as far as JD, this is the thing, and I've done all the things. I went into a trance. I went deep into a trance to try to find out what was going to happen. And I don't think it's written yet, because I can't either A, I don't want to know it, like it's something that I don't want to know, or B, it's something I'm not supposed to know, or C, it hasn't happened yet. I don't think this has happened yet, because what the other guides had said was, this is like calling a game. We don't know who's going to win, right? We know right now this team is up by 2 points. Maybe they're up by 20 points, but miracles have happened. Hail Marys, we use that term in sports. The last minute buzzer shot that changes everything. So they're asking us to understand that this is sort of like that, sort of like a game that's in progress. And right now we may be down 3 points, but it's not over yet. It's not over yet. And the other team has been working so much harder than we have. They've used all their good people. They're exhausted. They don't have anything left. It's almost like they started sprinting in the race from the very beginning, but it was a marathon and they didn't realize it. And they're not even a quarter of the way through the marathon and they're already exhausted and they're going to be falling out. So then at that point, we go back to the power vacuum that the guides talked about last year. We're going to have a power vacuum. This is never good for our country because it makes us very vulnerable. And then it makes everybody fight because everybody's trying to get to that place. That's why having a succession plan is so important. But that's also why kings often don't have a succession plan. Well, kings do, but dictators do not, right? So I feel like this is going to crater and crumble and fall apart. And we're going to be very surprised as to who is the successor. I wish I could tell you that everything is going to be made normal, that we're going to go back and say that this was rigged and wrong, and we're going to put the rightful person in the rightful place. But I don't see that. I've never, the best I've ever given it was 40%. And it's just not, to me, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that's the thing I can't see, right? But to me, it doesn't work like that. Because, here's an important thing they're saying. We can't go back. Kamala Harris said it herself, we're not going back. But it's the same energy. We're never going back. We're never going to have the country we had. We're never going to have that again. We've been changed by what we've seen, what we've witnessed, what we've absorbed, and we're not the same people that we were in November of last year. We've seen too much. We're changed now. So we really don't want to go back. We understand that these people cannot meet our needs. And I'm not saying Kamala Harris can't meet our needs. I'm saying that we're going to want new things. Like I would vote for her tomorrow, today. I think she still can do it. But I think a lot of other Democrats are falling short. And that power vacuum applies to them too. So the Nancy Pelosi's are going to want to keep that power. Even the Chuck Schumer's going to want to keep that power. I have to keep my power. I'm not going to give it up to some young kid or give it up. We see that, right? Like they gave that position to somebody that had cancer that was much, much older than AOC. We're seeing this. And this is what I'm saying. Citizens are going, wait a minute, right? Like, why does the woman always get the short end of the stick? And we're starting to connect the dots, not just with 45, but also with people like Pete Buttigieg, who apparently said something I don't know what he said. You'll have to Google it. All I know is he said something about trans people playing sports. That was his opinion, but I'm telling you, it has made a lot of people mad. And we're not going back. Pete Buttigieg could be president, but now he's got to answer this. He's got to understand that as we wake up and we see the reality of the true reality of our country, the true reality of the discrimination, the true reality of the classism, we're not going to go, we don't want to go back to November and unsee it. We can't. Now we know too much, and we're going to go forward. And we want people to go with us that are not afraid to stand up to the system. And that's where I think we run into trouble with Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, and maybe even Pete Buttigieg, who is a guy who's an amazing guy. He's amazing. I love Pete Buttigieg. He is very wonky, meaning he's very policy driven, policy oriented, loves to get into the details. But he also is a person, I believe, who's fairly conservative within the democratic ideals. You know, yes, he believes in free lunch. Yes, he believes maybe in free health care. So those things are typically not conservative. But what if the new version of us, those things are our must-haves? Those aren't things that we're hoping to get. We're hoping to get something even more. Universal payments. You know, we're hoping to get free government housing. We already know we're going to get universal health care. That's not, we're taking that down off the wish list, and that is a must-have. This is what I'm saying. This is like the breaking point. If we have to wake up and see how unfair everything is, and this goes for the MAGAs too, they're waking up too, and they're saying, okay, I thought this guy was going to just arrest criminals. No, he's arresting my brother-in-law. He's arresting that person that I love that has that restaurant. He's arresting this pharmacist who's the only one who gave me the discount code. Oh yeah, this is going all the way down to their communities, to them. And they're going to say, no, wait a minute. This is not what we wanted. So all of us are waking up to the greed and to all of the criminality. And we're all saying we don't want that. And not only are we saying we don't want that, now we might just hopscotch right over some of the more conservative or moderate Democrats. And I believe we're going to bring a lot of Republicans with us. And I'll end this video by saying that a few months ago, DJT signed an executive order saying that he wanted to overhaul the voting. That's one thing. Number two, we know that he made a call to Abbott, the governor of Texas, and said, you got to give me more districts. I need more gerrymandered Republican districts. Now, why do we think that's happening? Because this guy knows he can't win. They haven't won. The Republicans have not been winning. They've been gerrymandering it. They've been removing polling sites. They've been reducing early voting. They've been doing everything they can to block this from happening. And then they did the SAFE Act or the SAVE Act. And here we are, right? It's hard for women to get registered now. It is. I know some of you say it's easy, but if you'll go online and read hundreds and hundreds of comments about people who found it very difficult to register, who brought in their divorce papers and then their second divorce papers, and then they brought in their passport, and then they brought in, and every time they come in, it's never good enough. This is suppression. He cannot win. He knows he cannot win. And I just want to tell you that even if they gerrymander more districts in Texas, even if he somehow gets the states who control the voting, if he gets them to do their bidding, do his bidding, guess what's going to happen? A bunch of reds and blues are all going to be voting blue. I don't feel that they can gerrymander Jasmine Crockett out of her seat. I think she'll bring people, enough people, to do it. And you know what the guide said last year was it takes us 20% more because of the various things that were happening. We have to show up with 20% more just to be able to get the same amount. So 20% of those VOTEs are disappearing in some way. Okay. So this, when you hear the guides say that Jasmine Crockett's going to pull in the VOTEs, she might have 50% more to get 10% more on the board. That's why he lost in 2020, because he thought he had it sewn up. But too many of us showed up and we got Biden in. So then in 2024, you see that thing that happened towards the end of the voting when something happened, because they knew they needed to bring something in at the last minute to bring them over the top. So he thinks he's going to do this, that he's going to complete the whole coup. But he's not, because there's so many more of us. And yes, we'll vote for the conservative Democrat. If Pete Buttigieg runs, we're going to vote for him. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying we're not going to do it. But I'm saying that these people are going to have a rough road. A rough road. There will be people protesting them. They will get hell. I promise you. If you're going to represent us and you think you're going to not listen to us at this point right now, you would be very wrong. You cannot scoop up the position, go to the Capitol and forget about us. Those days are over. I think the next 3 years are going to be protest on steroids. And I think that some of these Dems are going to pivot. They're going to listen to us. But, the bottom line is, who are they fed by? The money. They have two masters, us and the money. And we will find 1,000 Mamdanis. We will find 1,000 Mamdanis. I promise you. Because when I saw Roy Cooper was running for Senate in North Carolina and everybody's like, yes, thank God, yes, it's going to be amazing. This guy is older than dirt. Yes, he's well liked. I know y'all are going to get upset with me, but I'm telling you the future, okay? The future. He is older than dirt. He is a conservative Democrat. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. Middle of the road, right? Middle of the road, work a deal with the Republicans, keep everybody happy. That's what the Democrats do, right? That's what the Democrats do. Look, we're not going to let this place burn down, but we're also not going to give you universal health care. We're not, because our people said you can't have it, but I'm going to give you this little snacks and you're going to be good. What if Cooper runs and somebody like Mamdani runs? I think you're going to be surprised about what happens. I think you're going to be surprised, because all those people in the Western North Carolina have gone through hell and back with Helene. They're not getting any help. Nobody's there to help them. A lot of them, that area is very red. You can only fool these people so many times before they don't care if you're trans. They don't care if you're a woman, and they don't care if you're black or brown or blue or whatever. They're not going to care because they're going to get broken. And they're going to be able to see the humanity of somebody. I think this is the gift that we've been given. We're not going to believe the huckster anymore. We're not going to just be told what we want to hear by all the Democrats and the Republicans who say, I'm going to do it. I've got you. I've got your back. And then they disappear and they don't do it. Now, of course, the Dems have had a hard road to hoe. They have not been in power, but they were in power and they could have done more things with their power, but they took the safe road every time. And this is what I'm trying to tell you guys. We can't do safe anymore. We can't. We cannot compromise with the devil anymore. This is where we're headed. People want real change. People need it. We're talking about survival here. We're not talking about, I would like to have. We're talking about, I can't survive. And that kind of energy, I don't think the Dems understand is happening. I think they're disconnected. You know, yes, you can talk about, oh, it's terrible. The people don't have the money. Yeah, you can talk. You can do the thing. You can go on the TV camera and you can do the thing, but you don't really know. And they're about to find out in a way that's going to shock them, because we've already been shocked. We've already been shocked out of our senses, out of our comfort zone. We understand what's at stake here. And now the breaking point is we will make sure they understand. Truly, it's the energy is visceral. It's absolutely reality on steroids, that these people are going to have to wake up and see it. Not only the MAGAs, but our elected officials. And I think this is all going to happen. And I think that this is going to break apart this year. Then we're going to have to be engaged because, as I've said many times, it's really in the Democrats' best interest to work a deal with the CEOs, work a deal with them. I just see a lot of mayhem, even like they just showed me briefly, unions have to make a deal with Ford or with this big shipping company or whatever it is. They have to make a deal or they strike. They use whatever leverage they have. Of course, nobody wants to strike. It's very disruptive for the workers. It's very disruptive for the company. But what I see is people less willing to make a deal. There's this sense of, I'm not going to make a deal with you. It's really pretty bombastic. It's pretty dire in a sense. It's just very my way or the highway, but instead of it being them, it's us. And I think that's going to change the balance of the power. But while that's happening, there's going to be a lot of not sure. The CEOs are going to be like, they're just kidding. We'll break them. Don't worry. We're going to be busy. Said this many times, right? We're going to be busy supporting each other in our communities. We're going to be growing tomatoes and carrots and changing each other's oil and helping each other share coupons, right? We're going to help each other in our community because we're waking up to the fact that we have all turned our faces to the great sun. And we thought the great sun was the CEOs, the ones that paid our bills. And now we're realizing those people are trying to kill us. You know what I mean? Like, really, we're really coming to this real visceral realization that what have we been doing, right? But yet, if we turn towards each other, we can help each other. And then we don't need them so much. They become much less powerful over us because we understand that we're all helping each other. I mean, truly, I just saw a picture of kind of like a doctor saying, you know, I'm tired of practicing. I'm going to practice at the community clinic and bring me a chicken. You know what I mean? Like, bring me the fruit off of your tree, right? Like, I made my money. I'm just going to self-fund this clinic. I'm telling you, we're all going to be doing this kind of thing. This is the reorientation of the power quotient, the guides are saying. That's the breaking point. But then we rebuild it and we start to take care of each other. And I don't think that Reiki or energy is a replacement for Western medicine. And I'm not giving medical advice right now, but I am saying that I can see a situation where Reiki and all different kinds of holistic healing start to have a big uptick in people helping each other, and less reliance on big hospitals. They're not going to be there. They're shutting down. They're forcing us. They're forcing us to do these things, right? They're forcing us to find our community, to help each other, support each other. As I tell you over and over again, this is, if you want a shortcut out of this pain and misery, community is the shortcut. That's how we get through this. We ride share, we watch each other's kids, we help each other with chores. Not everybody, and this is the last thing, because it's so important, not everybody is fit to be in a community. So if somebody is in your community and they're not reciprocating, then they get taken out of your community. This is such an important thing, because we go back to the beginning of DJT and him not caring about his community. He doesn't care about the magas. He takes advantage of them. This is what's wrong with our world. We've given too many passes to people with bad behavior. We've given too many passes to people. Oh, that guy doesn't mean anything. He says those racial things, but he's a good guy. No. The answer is no. We have to stop allowing those people in our community. Because believe me, when you have a community and it's beautiful and helping each other, some jerk is going to want to get in it. And we have to be better about saying no. Women have to be better about standing up for each other, and he's standing up for themselves and just saying, no, it's a complete answer. I'm not going to be nice to you. I don't have to be nice to you. Men, I'm asking you to stand up for women. I'm asking all of us to stand up for each other. That's the community. And we're going to start shunning people. You can be in our community, but you got to pull your own weight. You got to treat us all with respect. Otherwise, you're out. And how interesting that in the news, some white people bought some land, I think in Arkansas, and decided to make White Town. They're going to last maybe 60 days. I mean, I'm going to tell you right now, white people are some of the most fragile things on the planet. I know, I am one. Okay. We need diversity. That's what makes us strong, right? But at the same time, we cannot tolerate. We simply cannot. This is where we're going. This is what I'm trying to tell you. We're not going to tolerate the dims. We're not going to tolerate people who don't get it. We can't. We are literally out of patience. We are in survival mode. We're going to be able to recognize that in other people. We're going to be able to recognize this as a kindred spirit, and we're going to let them in our group. But we have to stand up and stand against those that would treat us badly, those that would treat people in our community badly. We have to be an ally. This is the way forward. This is how we change everything right here. Maybe instead of requiring teachers to buy all those things, we have a community sale in the school parking lot where we all bring things that we don't need anymore. And all the money goes to the teachers to help them fund their classes. This is what I'm saying. Let's start thinking like a community. You have a yard sale. Everybody brings something, and all the proceeds go to buy backpacks or pencils or whatever it is. Just change your perspective to community and you'll feel better. This weight will be lifted off of your shoulders. You'll feel plugged in, you'll sleep better, and you don't need to worry about those people because you know you've got your own community to help you support yourself and to help support them. All right. I'm Susan Lynn. I didn't mention this at the beginning, but if you've watched this whole thing and you don't know who I am, I'm a psychic medium. I've been doing this since 2016, at least online anyway. Been doing this a long time, and I channel my spirit guides. Thank you so much for watching to the end. I really appreciate it. Leave me your comments below if you have any comments or if you want to talk about whatever. Just be respectful because this is a community, right? I respect you and I would like for you to respect me. Don't forget, I have a couple of things happening, right? So I have a class where you can learn your numerology. You guys, another thing to get out of this situation, learn about yourself. Learn what makes you tick. Focus on you. Your numerology can help you understand your life path. It can understand so many things. Like if you've wondered like, why? This is how you learn it. It's $44. I'm teaching it with a professional, amazing numerologist, Dr. Vicky Serbo. You can find all the information about that down below. It's online. It's not this Saturday, but next Saturday. So $44 to get your own numerology, to unlock a skill set that you can learn and then use it to better yourself and understand what's going on in your life is a really good deal. Okay. I also have an in-person event in Santa Fe, New Mexico, right? 6 psychics are going to be together teaching you for 3 days. Your path to your own light. The whole theme is finding your light and then understanding your light and then shining your light out. It's not about learning Reiki. It's not necessarily about energy. It's literally about how can I empower myself? How can I, I'm feeling horrible. I'm feeling downtrodden. I'm feeling upset. This is terrible what's happening. Why am I here? What am I supposed to do at this time? Come to this event. You'll know those things at the end of this event and so much more because you'll meet like-minded people, have dinner with them, have lunch with them. You'll come away with a whole community. This is my 3rd annual. So I know that. I know that the people that attend my events become friends. They visit each other. They go on trips together. They go to other events together, right? It's truly a community. Speaking of community, I have a free online community. Free, completely free. Go to my website, susanlynnmedium.com, and hang out with people that know you and like you and basically believe the same things that you believe. Everything my guides have had me do has been about community, bringing people together and empowering you, teaching you how to use numerology to learn about yourself, right? Teaching you about how to find the light. Don't forget, I have a whole nother YouTube channel where I do helpful videos just like that. And the last thing is I have an online community for $12 a month. You can join monthly and just check it out and cancel if you don't like it. You don't have to spend more than $12 to check that out. That community, I'm there 3 times a month with you. Now, these communities are not Facebook. They are private. They're operated and owned, by me. So they are completely safe. And the people that are there are just like you. And you can talk on them just like you would any social media. So you can post things, you can reply to people, you can support people. Now, my $12 a month community, the magical metaphysical community, I'm there 3 times a month. I'm there doing Soul Growth Sunday, which is truly an amazing not every Sunday, 1 Sunday a month. My spirit guides work with us to, again, learn about ourselves. I'm there to help you one-on-one if you have questions. The other events are, one event is readings, where I do readings for you. This is the only place I offer readings. And the 3rd event is I bring an outside professional in to give you a free class. That's a lot for $12 a month, right? So if you're interested, check it out, susanlynnmedium.com. Again, if you've watched to the very end of all of this, I am so grateful for you, right? You are my community. We have a synergy of love and support here. And I feel that, and I hope you feel that. Take really, really good care of yourself. We're going to get through this. It doesn't matter if the Democrats are infighting or not. It doesn't matter because you have your community. And in the end, it's all going to sort itself out because the power is changing. Whether they like it or not, it is changing. And we are going to be holding the power as we go forward. Take really good care of yourself. I'll see you again next time. For entertainment purposes only,